2-2, and it's a whole new game now. First goal wins here. Austin, this is exciting for a berth in the final, a place in a chance to win a championship. It all comes down now. You got two tired teams here, teams that have been playing down a man on a big field here. It comes down to desire and who wants this more at this moment.
Boca Raton has not lost this season when Sebastian Elney, Tomer Bitten, and Aaron Kleiner are all in the lineup. Now, they were all in the lineup to start the game. Bitten will not be in the lineup to end the game after 2 yellow cards. Pierre Goris, the second leading scorer for Eastlake, is also off the field. He was red carded early in the second half. So we're even at 2 between Boca Raton and Eastlake. One more review of the format. There will be 10 minutes on the clock, and we will play an overtime period. If no team scores, we will go 10 more minutes of overtime after the teams change sides. And if no team has scored within that 20-minute period, we'll go to best of 5 penalty kicks.
Which you don't want to see. Hopefully we find a winner within that, because penalty kicks is an absolute lottery. You'd like to see one team find a winner here, but you know, this is difficult because Boca goes in with arguably their best player all season, Tomer Bitten, not being able to play, being out with 2 yellow cards. We're talking a player that's got experience with Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel, playing with their youth teams, and the Real Madrid Youth Academy. I mean, the Real Madrid Youth Academy, Austin, that's one of the best academies in the world he's grown up playing with. He's a member of the Region 3 team as well. I mean, he is what makes this offense go. He scores, he provides, he does everything in between. He's put in hard work. He must have run miles and miles in this game, covering so much ground, but not being able to play right now in the overtime period is going to cost him. We're going to take a quick look here at some of the cards here, things that have really affected. This is the first one. So he stuck his foot there, nothing really going, okay. You know, it's like, okay, all right, he's not really backing up, and then he gets in the way there. And the referee just, mind you, this was like 7 minutes into the game, Austin. Quick yellow card there. For me, not really much in there, you know. Here's the red card that the referee did get completely right. Pierre Goris there just going way over the top, stepping right on Sebastian Desir there, straight red, no arguments whatsoever. But then here's the one where it gets Tomer Bitten, the second, right here. He's going to run by, he's going to put his foot on the ball and roll it not more than 5 feet there. The defender gets it in 2 or 3 steps, or the forward gets it in 2 or 3 steps, rolls it right back over. But the referee, I don't know if he's forgotten that he's given Tomer a yellow card earlier, and he's quick to give one there, and then he realizes, oh wait, I've just given this guy a second yellow and he's done for the game. Because I think if he remembers that he gave him a soft one earlier, I think in that moment you talk to him and remind him, say, hey, look, this is your last warning. You do anything like that early or again, you're off. So very interesting decisions to be made in a talking point for sure. But now we're in overtime. It's 2-2. It's like a brand new game here for first goal to win.
So 10 minutes on the clock. Eastlake starts with possession. Eagles in white, Boca Raton in blue. As we continue on here in this second 5A state semifinal.
This is where we're going to need to see Sebastian Elney step up. This is where a player of his ability needs to take this game by the scruff of the neck and put his mark on the game, because he did when he came back in and got that fantastic assist, but where's he been since then? He needs to be more of a factor in this overtime to get his team through to the final.
Alex Carbonelli plays that ball back to Sean Caulfield.
Great work by a truck there to figure out 8 today. He normally wears number 4, so that's why we didn't have him earlier when we talked about the opportunity that he put just over the goal.
Carbonelli tracking that ball, and a nice turn. Could have easily been a corner or perhaps a throw-in. Boca Raton able to maintain possession. Adajun Moby, and now a ball sent high and over the top of the goal. Again, the teams will play 10 minutes. If no one scores, they'll flip sides of the field, and we'll go another 10. Just about 90 seconds into the first overtime here in the 5A state semifinals. Winner gets Miami Columbus in tomorrow's championship game. That one set for a 5:30 kickoff on BHSNlive.com, also on TV, channel 47, HD 1147. Player down in the middle of the field for Eastlake. That's Nate Himes, the forward. You can see grabbing his left leg and trying to stretch it out. Cramps for Nate Himes, a senior starting forward and also a backup goalkeeper.
So we'll take a look here. So as he jumps and lands, you can just tell quickly he's reaching down. Is it the hamstring? Is it the back of his knee there? Players are stretching him out, so that makes me believe it's a cramp there. But, you know, he's been the most effective player for them up front tonight. He caused so many problems, him and Josh Page up front. So you hope that Himes is going to be okay and be able to play. And the way he's getting stretched and kind of massaging the back of his leg, you tend to think that's just a cramp there.
So the training staff here from Eastern Florida State College out there to work on Nate Himes. And she will help the senior forward to his feet. Himes will hobble toward the Eagles sideline.
It's a big loss there if he can't make it back into the game. You hope he's okay and hope he can come back in, because you want to see these teams have their best players available, the ones that are eligible to be playing right now, that aren't kicked out of this game right now. You want to see all the best players here to get the most true finish you can out of this game. You don't want to see it to go to penalty kicks. I mean, I've been in plenty of games where it's gone to penalty kicks, and sometimes you've been the better team and lost, and sometimes you know, just get on the wrong end of that, and that's the toughest way to lose, and especially in the state semifinals here with a chance to play in the final online. You don't want to see it go to penalty kicks. So hopefully Nate Himes will be back and both teams will be able to play with their best available players to get a winner of this game.
Bruno Scafidi moves up top for Eastlake. 8 minutes remaining in the overtime, and a throw-in upcoming for the Eagles. Next guy with the throw-in. He's played strong in the back today for the Eagles. Eastlake looking to counter. Josh Page taken down. No whistle from the referee. Scafidi nearly got enough of that deflection to keep it in play. Sliding tackle missed by Eastlake, and Ward carries it forward. Played up the field for Elney. Coming out and making the save is Sean Caulfield. Ran into Elney. Caulfield dropped the ball. He's down. So is Elney. Elney looking for help, trying to get up, and it looks like both players are going to be okay.
Brave goalkeeping by Caulfield here. Knowing that Elney's coming, he gets the ball, and it just leaves his knee in there and catches his knee in the side of the leg here. Watch Elney's right knee go right into him right there. Caulfield's got the ball well in hand when that happens, and he's got every right to have a complaint there. And I think the referee is going to go over here, have a word, see what he says. If he keeps the card in his pocket here, it's going to be a bit of a surprise considering some of the other cards he's given. So interesting decision, and I think a deserved yellow there. You know, something he could have, a challenge he could have pulled out of. But now, Elney's now on the bench. He's have to sub out here. So you have your second best player, or if you want to say he's the best player, whatever. Bitton and Elney both off the field right now. You know, Bitton's done for the game. Elney's now off with the yellow card substitution, mandatory substitution. So this is the worst case scenario for Boca Raton. Their two leading scorer, two best players are off the field right now. It's not what you want in state semifinals when you're in overtime.
A yellow card for Elney. He heads to the bench. Nate Himes has yet to come back in for Eastlake. Elney is at the center line. He will come back in at the next opportunity.
He's got a great stat handed here by our man Josh here in the booth with us. Boca played 28 minutes up a man, and the shots are 13 for Eastlake, and Boca has 14 shots. So it's fairly even, and they had a man advantage for 28 minutes in that game, and up 2-0. It's a crazy stat there that just goes to show the commitment that Eastlake had to fight back.
A team that's played without 3 or 4 starters due to injuries at times this season. Only a couple of those guys have come back. Eastlake played without a home field for virtually the entire second half of the season. Since late November, Eagles have not played a home game. All 3 wins in regional on the road. including avenging a district final loss to Steinbrenner. So it's been a challenging ride for this Eagles team. And in the state semifinals for just the second time in program history.
I'll put this question to you, Austin, because you got a chance to talk to him a little bit more than I did. What do you think is going on in the head of coach Alex Stenson over there? You know, he knew that they were under pressure tonight playing against a good team in Boca Raton. And we talked to him a bit before the game, but what do you think is going on in his head right now? What do you think he's saying to his players coming out of the overtime break?
He's just got to be telling them to keep fighting, keep battling. They've shown they can overcome adversity at multiple points this season and at multiple points in this match. I think you have to be so proud of the way his kids have fought, being down a man, down a goal, and continuing to create more chances than Boca Raton did. I think the effort from these Eastlake kids has been outstanding.
Very well said.
Throwing on the near sideline for the Eagles, Keegan Allgate. Controlled by Boca Raton. Sebastian Desir trying to find space. Desir shifty in the open field. He's taken down, and that'll be a free kick for Boca Raton.
That brings the foul count now to Eastlake with 16 fouls. Boca has 14 fouls. Talk about physicality of this game. This game has produced 30 fouls now, and 30 fouls, about 4 or 5 cramps, 7 yellow cards, two sending offs here. We've had a lot of action in this game and 4 goals. It's been entertaining to watch if you're neutral to this, to both teams, isn't it?
Alejandro Gonzalez appears to be cramping up. He will limp off the field. Papadopoulos comes back on. He's got the goal that equalized the game with 6:43 remaining, just his 4th score of the season. And now a set piece opportunity for Boca Raton.
It's going to be on Kleinert's right foot, curling this in. Look for him to put this ball right at the top of the 6 here. That in-between area between the back line now and where Caulfield is.
Sam Ward also there. Goes. And that is out of play. It'll be a corner. So Eastlake avoids trouble during that set piece free kick, but now a corner upcoming for Boca Raton. And the challenge falls right back onto this Eagles defense. And we've seen time and time again, Sean Caulfield has been aggressive going up for both crosses and through balls. We'll see how he handles this left-footed cross from Sam Ward. Guy who Coach Castillo says has a magical left foot. Plays it out toward the top of the box. Adejumobi leaves his feet. And it's a play on. So 2 set-piece opportunities for Boca Raton. Bobcats get nothing. And it's 3:15 remaining in the first overtime.
Jamobi trying spectacular there, the bicycle kick. Seen that on TV or a YouTube highlight here and there, and thought I'll go for it there, but gets whistled for a foul there. And we have 3 minutes left in this first overtime. It's going to be about who can get the first real quality chance and who can take that chance and put it away right now, because that's all it's going to take is one moment of brilliance here to find a winner and put your team into the final.
As the game goes on, does either team have an advantage the longer the game goes, you think?
At this point, 10 on 10, the way the game's gone, really, honestly, no. I don't think there's an advantage one way or another. I don't think this benefits one team the longer it goes. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, if this goes to penalty, I mean, Caulfield, has proved to be a great goalkeeper shot stopping wise. So I wonder how he is on penalty kicks.
Long throw in is headed out. Elney gets a touch beyond the box. Flicks it in, dangerous spot, but cleared away by Bruno Scafidi. Adejumobi wind it up, couldn't get that through a wall of defenders, and now he is writhing in pain on the ground. Elney gets possession, that shot deflected wide, and a goal kick upcoming for Eastlake with under 2 minutes to go in the first overtime.
See, that momentum that Eastlake had has kind of died down here a little bit. They're starting to sit in a little bit more. And maybe that's a sign of things to come, because it looks as though Boca Raton is starting to establish a little bit of possession higher up the field better spots right now, and kind of getting Eastlake back on their heels. So maybe that's shifting. Maybe we thought there was really no advantage, but right now it seems as though Boca's had more of the chances here. Elney's on a great run here.
Creating some space. Elney, did he push it too far, trying to turn it back to the middle? Right at the front of the net, it was knocked out of bounds.
Max Guy with an incredible clearance there in the middle of the box. He puts himself in a great position here. Elney, a great individual effort with the size and speed, pushes it by, saves it from going out. Max Guy, terrific positioning with two Boca Raton floors there. Desir and I believe who is that? The guy isn't there to clear that. This game's over.
Now corner for Boca Raton. Under a minute to go in the first overtime. Kleiner settles it on the far side of the field. Serves it in. At the top of the 18, a shot is high. Will that be the final good chance here in the first overtime?
Mark Faith there, just a rolling ball there. His eyes got pretty big there, and he pushed it high and wide there. Got to try to get that on target there. It's more about technique at that moment, Austin, than it is power, because with the rolling ball there, you hit that cleanly and you hit that correctly, that's going to find its way into the back of the net. You don't need to create any more power than there already is.
Given the way the last couple minutes have gone, you'd think Eastlake would be happy to get to the sideline and try and group for a second overtime period. Long throw by Adejunmobi. And with that, the first 10 minutes come to a close. So the teams will switch ends of the field, and we'll have 10 more minutes on the clock. And again, we're in golden goal or sudden victory. So if one team scores, that ends the game. If we go 10 minutes without a team scoring, we'll head to best of 5 penalty kicks. So Marcelo Castillo and Alex Stenson, the respective coaches, will get a couple of minutes with their teams on the sideline.
But at this point, it's reminding the players, have the will to win right now. Everyone's tired. You've seen players cramping. These are circumstances that you don't necessarily train for. Now it just comes down to looking around each other, looking at your teammates' eyes right now and saying, let's do this together, guys. Give each other 10 minutes left, because this could be the last 10 minutes of the season here. So you got to ask questions of yourself. Look deep down. What kind of player are you? What character do you have in this moment to be able to dig in and fight for these last 10 minutes here to try to go looking for a winner?
Well, so far here in the boys state tournament, we have yet to have a game go to penalty kicks, and we're 10 minutes away from our first. Can Sebastian Elney and Boca Raton pick themselves up off the mat here and get a goal to position themselves for tomorrow's final? Boca Raton led 2-0 with less than 8 minutes to go. Eastlake scored twice in a span of 37 seconds to tie it at 2, and we went scoreless through 10 minutes of overtime. The teams have flipped sides of the field. Boca Raton will kick it off, and we'll begin the second overtime here from Melbourne. Reminder that the 3A final between Merritt Island and Choctawhatchee follows us here on BHSNLive.com. That game also available on television if you're a Bright House Network subscriber, channel 47 and HD 1147.
We're maybe cutting into the time slot here if this game goes any longer. That game was scheduled to start at 8, wasn't it? It's going to be a little bit late now, as we're already hitting what local time here, 7:47 now. So late one here. This is the tired. You got tired legs here. You got tired minds. It's going to be what team can minimize the mistakes here, and then on the flip side, can you capitalize on a mistake if the other team makes it?
All played up the near side. And does your approach change defensively at this point in the game? If you're feeling unsure about a ball in your end, you just clear it out as far as possible, right?
You don't take any risk right now. Nobody's going to complain if you turn and put the ball into the stands or into the parking lot right now if you're under a little bit of pressure. Right now, it's not about how pretty it is. It's about how effective it is. You just get the job done any possible way right now.
Well, at the high school level, the deeper a game goes, the more often it is that a mistake determines the outcome. You hope that's not the case here this evening. You hope it's a great play that sends one of these teams into tomorrow's 5A championship game.
That's a good point. You would hate for it to end any other way than a brilliant effort or a great goal or something like that, because it'd be heartbreaking for a season to end here on a mistake in overtime. So hopefully we can find one of those moments here and somebody can step up and rise to the occasion here.
Papadopoulos with two defenders there. Kicked out of play by Ward and a throw in for Eastlake. Bruno Scafidi, the junior, scored the first goal of the game for the Eagles, his 5th of the year. It came with 7:20 left in regulation. Scafidi's throw in doesn't get very far into the penalty area. Long service into the box, but right at Foodie, and he easily handles that. Almost 2 minutes into the second overtime, 2-2 between Eastlake and Boca Raton. Adujunmobi across the midline. And touched just a bit too firm there off the foot of Carlos Pestana. He's got a goal here this afternoon for Boca Raton.
A great goal, wasn't it? Took it very well on his left foot, side volley to the side netting there.
Box for Scafidi on that. Well, actually the flag was up, so would have been offside anyway. Nonetheless, good sequence for Eastlake. The tension grows with every passing second here in the second overtime. Desir able to turn with some space. Scafidi comes up to challenge. Desir got hurt earlier in the game, and now he's down on the turf again. Nice tackle as Ward was taking the ball into the attacking third. Desir gets to his feet, and now the official stops the clock. And with that, you can see numerous players reaching down to try and stretch. Cramps have been an issue at the end of regulation and then in the overtime periods as well.
You're right. It's like we talked about, wasn't it? You don't train for this. You can't train at that pace for this long. This just comes down to how fit you are, how much your body can take, because you're pushing it to the extreme. You're putting it in a scenario that it doesn't normally go to right now, playing at this pace for over 80 minutes in regulation, 10 minutes in the first overtime. Now we're heading towards a full 100 minutes. These guys have played over 90 minutes so far, around 94 minutes. So you're asking so many questions of your body physically right now, and more so now more than ever, it's about mentally. Here are the questions you're being asked yourself. What kind of person and what kind of player are you right now to be pushed to the limit physically, but then now can you make the right decisions in the moments that matter the most?
Tanner Young is playing with a pulled muscle. Alex Stenson hoped to get about 15 minutes out of him as he was dribbling that ball, just went to the ground. Off the shin of Papadopoulos, a throw-in upcoming for Sebastian Elney. 5.5 minutes to go here in the second over. Did a number of chances in the first OT, but it's been Eastlake that has controlled possession here in the second OT. Ward, nice work to get past a couple Eastlake defenders into the middle of the field. And an offside going to be whistled against Desir. Looked like Boca Raton was putting together a nice combination. Gustavo Fernandez trying to find Desir, but he was offside.
Good look there at Coach Stenson right now. He's been so positive on the sideline. You can see him just encouraging his team to go on, because at this point, that's all you can do is just get in the head and play the game mentally right now, that to get your team going, get them full of confidence. Good step there by Max Guy, just unfortunately a little bit too much, but that's what we noticed when we took away with our conversations from him, that he was just so positive, and it's contagious, and you can kind of see his players really buy into what he has to say. And they've kind of taken it on board, and they're really doing it together as a group here, and have dug in. Even when they were down a man, down 2-0, they were able to still fight back together, and that's that starts from the top with the coach there and trickles down, has a trickle-down effect to the players.
Let's win this, Gustavo! Let's win this!
Substitution for Boca Raton. Carlos Pestana will head to the sideline. Philip Toth comes back in. Toth, the tall senior midfielder. That long throw in hasn't been as dangerous today on a bigger field as it was during the regular season. But 15 assists for Toth. You certainly have to be fully aware for this to get into the 6-yard box if you're East Lake.
It's all about
the field on that long punt by Caulfield. He's here. Patient.
Minutes here. It's all left. That this game is most likely headed to penalties, so you cannot be the one to let your team down and make a mistake here. Anywhere will do, as you can see there. Doesn't matter about how pretty it is. It's just get it away, get it as far away from your goal as possible right now.
And Josh Page creates something here in the final couple minutes, sliding to keep it alive. Papadopoulos with 2 defenders tracking him, looking for space, retreating against Desir. Boy, good battle over there on the far sideline between Papadopoulos and Desir. Kicked out a play, and that will be awarded to Boca Raton. Julian Penagos with the defensive assist.
A lot of people back in Boca Raton biting their nails watching the broadcast here, and on the edge of their seat wondering how this is going to end up here, as this is take down less than 90 seconds.
Fans arriving for the 3A championship game between Merritt Island and Choctawhatchee. You'd expect the Mustangs to have a strong contingent here. We're in Brevard County in Melbourne. Merritt Island not that far away. One final chance perhaps for Boca Raton. Shot is wide. Mark Faith, sophomore, creating that chance. And now under a minute to go. These teams perhaps poised to engage in penalty kicks for the first time here at the Boys State Tournament.
It's looking more and more like penalties here, so now you start to think what players are going to take your penalties here. Well, who are your 5 that you trust in this moment to step up and rise to the occasion here with all the pressure? Who do you want in this moment right now, Austin? That's what coaches are thinking about here. One last attack here.
One final run. It's Page to the top of the box. Perhaps time for a shot with 8 seconds to go. Scafidi maneuvering, unable to get anything away, and that will do it. The clock goes to 0, and after 100 minutes between Boca Raton and Eastlake, we head to a best of 5 penalty. Cramps taking their toll on both teams after a hard-fought 80 minutes in regulation, 20 minutes in overtime. The teams will retreat to their respective benches. Coaches will have an opportunity to set their lineup. It's a best of 5 penalty shootout. And the players who are eligible to take the kicks are those who are on the field at the end of the overtime period. So up now to Colin Foodie and Sean Caulfield to try and step up in the most challenging situations that keepers face.
Oh, it's just so much pressure here, and it's going to be about who can step up in the moment between Foodie and Caulfield. Who's going to be the one to make the save for the team here? If you're one of the penalty kick takers, You have to put this on target. There's no excuse for missing the target here. You got to give yourself a chance to win here. And as we get set for this, can you calm yourself? Can you be cool and collected under pressure here? Because right now, that's all there is just the pressure on the kickers here, because keepers aren't expected to make these saves. This is just strictly about the players here. So you got to be calm in these moments of pressure, understand the situation, and understand that this is where you need to step up and be big for your team.
So the coaches come together, and an explanation for Eastlake coach Alex Stenson. Big fan of Chelsea. I was teasing him before the game. Most coaches are decked out in the apparel for their respective schools. He had on a Chelsea jacket and a Chelsea hat.
Who knows? Maybe it's his lucky get-up. You know, everyone's has their own superstitions, and our coach wears the same outfit every week. And then if we lose, he changes it. You figure out what works and you go with it. It's one of those that you can't explain it, but if it works, it's like the commercial, right? Why change it, huh? So it's hopefully for him bringing this. But man, this is just. So we get a good look there at the goal. That's where it's going to be. We got a great camera angle for that. If we can get the shot there for the penalties from behind. I mean, that's just great camera work there, because we'll see, you know, how much to the corner these penalty kick takers can place it, because we've got some big keepers here, and that does matter, because when you're staring down looking at big keepers, it really is intimidating, and these keepers have big wingspans. Caulfield has proven himself to be a capable shot stopper. Foodie has been big too when he's been called upon, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Oh, awesome.
Well, for those of you tuning in expecting to see the 3A championship game between Choctawhatchee and Merritt Island, you're in the right place. This is Eastern Florida State College in Melbourne, and this is the second 5A state semifinal between Eastlake and Boca Raton, and we are about to begin a best-of-5 penalty shootout. Boca Raton led 1-0 at halftime, extended that lead to 2-0, and Eastlake scored twice in a span of 37 seconds. First, Bruno Scafidi with 7:20 to go. Dino Papadopoulos 37 seconds later with the equalizer. No more scoring in regulation, and then 20 minutes of overtime periods, scoreless as well. So we're even at 2, and now it's a best-of-5 penalty shootout. So that 3A championship game will begin some period of time following the conclusion of this game. You figure around 30 minutes is what it'll take to turn things around.
You know what I love to just see there? Both keepers, Foodie and Caulfield, kind of went over to each other there and just kind of just gave each other a little bit of dap there and just said, like, good luck to each other, because they understand the situation that they're in. It's one of those, as a keeper, you kind of have respect for the other person because you know the situation that they're in each other. You love to see that. The goalkeepers always stick together, and I think they're going over saying, good luck, buddy, good luck. And, you know, it's going to be an exciting finish to this game. It's going to be heartbreak for one, and it's going to be delirium for another, getting themselves into the final. So we'll see who can step up and be big in this moment.
Eastlake trying to reach the championship game for the first time ever. And if the Eagles win this best-of-5 penalty shootout, we'd have a pair of first-time finalists in tomorrow's 5A championship game. Caulfield and Foodie there exchanging some words before the best-of-5 shootout begins. Caulfield, a member of the Region 3 ODP team, will be going to Argentina in a few months. And I think in terms of caliber, you'd have to give a slight edge to Caulfield. He's a fantastic keeper. Faced a penalty kick earlier today in the first half. Tomer Bitten scored on a PK in the 16th minute before being taken to the bench with 2 yellow cards. So the leading scorer for Boca Raton will not be a part of this penalty shootout, nor will Eastlake's second leading scorer, Pierre Goris, who was red carded in the second half.
This is pressure-filled moments here, and you like to think the experience that Caulfield has with the regional team is going to help him in this moment. He's played in big games before. Both keepers are well aware of the magnitude of this game. You can see it on both teams. They're huddled up, both of them, arm in arm on the bench. It's a great shot, arm in arm on the field here. So This is the exciting moment that it comes down to. What a camera angle that is right there. Great shot by our crew there. That's as if you're on the field looking down the field at this as it's going to unfold, and we're going to see one team drop to their knees in heartbreak and one team go for that sprint, that moment when you win. I'll tell you what, Austin, it's one of the best feelings. You can't get there fast enough. We actually won a championship on a penalty shootout, and that sprint we had from the midfield to the goal line, I wish I had someone clocking my 40 there. That was the fastest we've ever run to get down there. You know, it's a great feeling. So,
one of the most dramatic events in all of sports, a best-of-5 penalty shootout to determine who will go to the 5A championship game. Sebastian Desir will start for Boca Raton. Senior, 4 years on varsity. Injured in the game earlier today, missed some time. He's the first shooter. And a save by Caulfield.
Big save by Caulfield there. Not the best penalty kick, kind of down the middle. We'll take another look here. Caulfield, he read it the whole way. Saw he open up his body. Big save there. Big save. The start that you need there if you're Eastlake. What a save. We talked about his experience there, and you could just tell he looked so confident there. He was always going to step up and make that save.
So now Tanner Young. Pulled muscle caused him to miss much of the season for Eastlake. Able to go today, and now one of the 5 shooters selected by Alex Stenson. Both shooters miss on their first penalty. Young off the post with the first attempt for Eastlake.
He's opened his hips up. He's got the keeper well beat for height and to the side, but he's just put it off the face of the post, and it's come right back to him. And mentally, that's crushing for Eastlake because they had the advantage. And now we're right back to where we started as we step up for the second round here. Still 0-0.
Mark Faith, just a sophomore. Starter last year. Finally healthy now after an injury-plagued season. Faith goes high and beats Caulfield.
What a finish. Top corner, confident penalty there. You could just tell he was calm under pressure there. No problem. Steps up from behind. A finish like that, nobody's going to save that. That's a good penalty. You got to tip your cap there. Nothing you can do about that one.
Alex Ramirez next up for Eastlake. Reserve midfielder who has not scored a goal this entire season. He's the second shooter for the Eagles. Slow approach, able to fake out Colin Foodie, and we're even at 1.
Very patient penalty there. He's come up with an interesting run-up. He started behind it, opened up his body a little bit, looked as if he was going to close his hips, and then he just stutter steps, finishes it to the corner there. Foodie guessed the wrong way, didn't dive in the end. He knew. You could see him just say, fair enough. That was a good penalty.
Now the right back, Carlos Pestana, senior. Scored just his second goal of the season earlier tonight to give Boca Raton a 2-0 lead in the game. He's the third shooter for the Bobcats in this best-of-5 penalty shootout. Oh, Caulfield got a hand on it, but not enough. It gets through his arms and in.
Just enough pace on it in the end to get past Caulfield as he's gone the right way. Boy, you can see he's just put enough pace on it. Caulfield couldn't quite react in time. He guessed the right way. He started low, just went a little bit higher, inches higher than where he was. And the keeper of his quality, he's upset at himself because he feels he could have made that save.
Now the senior captain, Daniel Mahler, identified by Stenson as the team MVP. He's got it, and we're even at 2, 3 rounds in.
Confident penalty there, wasn't it? Just stepped up, smashed it to the low corner, jog on back. So we'll take a look here. This is textbook here. Puts his foot through it right to the corner. Keeper guesses the right way, but he was miles away from that one. He's never going to get there with that much pace and accuracy.
Now Sebastian Elney. And what a matchup this is. A member of the under-17 national team going up against the Region 3 ODP keeper in the 4th round of this penalty shootout. And a wry smile crept across the face of Caulfield. Elney brilliantly initially looked right, kicks it left, and it's on the ground for a goal.
A player of his quality with his experience, you expect him to score there. He does his job for his team there. So we'll see from behind here. Just comes up confidently, opens up, and then closes the hip at the last second. Good disguise on that penalty, puts it into the corner.
Eastlake's leading scorer, Josh Page, 96 career goals.
He's your goal scorer. He's the one that you want taking this in this moment here. That's why he's 4th in this lineup here. You expect him to score from the spot here. You need him to.
Page is stopped by Colin Foodie. Not much pace on that PK from Page. And Boca Raton with a chance to win it.
We'll take a look here. He just doesn't make good contact. That ball's bouncing by the time it gets to the goal. He just strikes the top of the ball, doesn't hit it cleanly. And you have your leading scorer up there. In that moment, the guy you want taking the penalty, he can't score. And now, stepping up with a chance to win this game, Aaron Kleiner. No pressure here. If you miss it, the game's not over. If you win, you're a hero. This is the moment you want to be in. This is, if you're a penalty taker, you love this opportunity right here to win the game.
Junior center back for Boca Raton. If he makes it, the Bobcats are in the championship game. Boca Raton wins the best-of-5 penalty shootout. The Bobcats make 4 consecutive PKs to earn a spot in tomorrow's 5A championship.
Look what it means to the players there. It means everything. That's one of the best feelings, and it's an absolute heartbreak if you lose here. Caulfield guesses the one way, goes the other, and he knows as soon as it sees to go by that the season's over for Eastlake. Nothing to hang their head about. They've had a brilliant season, and it just ends in the worst possible way here. You hate seeing that. Kleiner with a good penalty there. 4 goals in a row, 4 good penalties there to win it. 4-2 in a penalty shootout. Boca Raton will be playing in the final tomorrow afternoon.
After surrendering a 2-0 lead and going to a best-of-5 penalty shootout, Boca Raton advances to the 5A championship game. An all-South Florida final. It'll be the Bobcats against Miami Columbus. That game scheduled to start at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. You can watch it live here on BHSNLive.com. And if you're a Bright House Cable subscriber on TV channel 47 and HD 1147. Stay tuned. About 30 to 40 minutes from now, we will have the start of the 3A championship game between Merritt Island and Choctaw-Hatchie. Until then, for our entire Bright House Sports Network crew, my broadcast partner Jamie Watson,